Hello, I'm Gary Jordan with the Jordan Property Group and brokered by eXp Realty. Today, I've got a very interesting topic for us all to discuss. The idea of dreaming again, setting goals, things that are exciting to you, and all the mental things involved in getting from point A to point B. I have a special guest today who's an expert in this field, my good friend, Mr. Frank Sinclair. Frank is the CEO. I can mean that by the Chief Encouragement Officer of his own company called Dream Again LLC. Welcome, Frank. Good to see you today.
Always good to see you, Gary. Thank you for having me on, my friend.
Well, sure. I couldn't think of anybody else that'd be more in tune and more, I say, credible to have on this program today versus yourself. We're talking about the mental aspect of doing things out of ordinary. You know, we're so fortunate to have so many things to be encouraged about. And I want you to expand on that in a few minutes too. I'll say a few things about it. Is the world perfect? No. Is the USA perfect? No. But I'll tell you what, living in the United States of America, we have so many opportunities that most people around the world don't have, that every morning we get out of bed, we should be very encouraged and very excited and feel very blessed that we have the opportunity to do what we want to do, come and go where we want to come and go, and set our own goals where we can visually and mentally visualize to reach. So, Frank, talk to us a little bit about the mental aspect that you see of the topic of be encouraged to dream again, which is our topic today.
Yeah, well, Gary, I think you hit the point right on the head. I was listening to the radio this morning, and as I was heading down to one of the places where I serve on the board of directors, and on the radio, the guy came on and said, "We hit the lottery of life by being Americans." And having served in the military myself, one of the reasons that I'm so endeared to Colorado Springs is because we have such a great military presence. But it also reminds me that, where I came from, where life started for me in America, nothing's perfect because you got human beings in it. But you also we have so much to be grateful for, Gary, and coming on your show at this time of year just kind of highlights the opportunity for gratefulness. And if we took a inventory of our lives and started to list things we're grateful for versus the challenges that we have, I bet you that the list of gratefulness will be longer. It's much longer for me. So I'm incredibly encouraged to be on the show with you today and to talk about why people should be encouraged.
Very good, Frank. The idea of being encouraged, it's all about mental discipline too. It's so easy to be a negative Nancy. We can all pick out right quick. We can pick out 10 things to be pissed off about.
Yes.
Or be discouraged about. But if we just sort of try to focus on the positives in life, focus on the things we have to be so grateful for, that list will way outnumber the negative list if you just try to focus on that bright side versus the dark side.
Yeah.
I would a lot of times say, I get out of bed in the morning, I'll think to myself, man, I am so happy I'm able to stand up and walk to the restroom. For example, that's something big to be really encouraged about. Let you try it for a while without being able to walk.
Yeah.
That's just an example. I'm so encouraged and so happy and so blessed to be able to see you on this broadcast today.
Yeah.
Versus being in the dark.
Definitely.
I'm so blessed to be able to speak to you. And all these things we take for granted that are big, big life-changing things are reasons to be, shout hallelujah and to be encouraged.
Isn't that the truth, my friend? I tell you what, no one ever walks up to me, Gary, and says, you know what? I'm so encouraged by my marriage, I'm divorcing. Or right, or I'm so encouraged by my school work that I'm dropping out of school, or I'm so encouraged by the business that I'm doing that I'm shutting the doors. Right? People don't say that. I call discouragement a disease, And if you are going to focus on the disease of discouragement, it's going to be very hard to have a mindset of encouragement, a positive mindset where you can move forward every day in the most optimal way. So, because it's about helping other human beings. Matter of fact, it's not even about you. And if you can really look at business and life from that standpoint, we're put here to do things for other people. And the outcome for that is we get to make a good living. We get to, but more, we get to impact people in a positive and an awesome way. So encouragement to me is the foundation and the heartbeat of a mindset that's moving forward in any positive way.
Frank, I'm a big fan of a great a motivational speaker. He's he's across over the rainbow now. He's in a better place. Name is Zig Ziglar.
I love it.
Zig Ziglar has a proverb I quote many times, like you said about giving to people. His quote is that you can get anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want.
That's right. Yeah, you're so right. Zig is one of my favorites as well. What a great man. Thank God that his kids are still continuing his legacy today, and in the business world. But it's true. It is. The reason we get so hung up is because we're so focused on us. And the fact of the matter is that 24/7, 365, you are with you. So you have a lot of things there you can, it's very easy to create a negative mindset if you're with yourself all the time. Every negative thing you've ever done has been stored away in our noggin, and everything that hasn't transpired that we wanted to transpire has been stored away as well. That's why it's so important that we get outside of our heads and focus on other things and focus on other people, because our minds would drag us into places that makes it almost impossible for us to make the movement that we want to make in life and to make the impact that we want to make.
The biggest challenge we have, I think, Frank, and I've been around for a while too, like yourself, is listening to and not listening to that little voice back there in the back of your head is telling you, either I can or you can't.
Right.
Whatever he says, he's right.
He's right. That's right.
But it's so easy if you've been programmed for so many years. I'm talking about decades and decades as an adult of negative, like Zig said, stinking. Stinking thinking. That little voice back there that's always going to be talking to you is going to be giving you most of that stinking type thinking messages all the time. And I'm a big promoter, big fan of, and recommend so highly to anybody, whether you're a young adult, whether you're a teenager, or whether you're an old seasoned veteran like you and I are. Go to places that lift you up.
Yes.
Go to the good books that are out there. There's plenty of good books out there. You may want to call them self-help books, but that's what they are. Yeah. They help you deal with that stinking thinking kind of a mentality and fight off that little voice back there that's always telling you you can't, and you won't, and you shouldn't.
Yeah. And you always find what you're looking for. That's the deal. That's why it's so important to have a good mindset, because if your mindset is focused, sometimes you look and you see the division and the hatred and all of the things that's going on in the world. One of the reasons I don't engage news, and I'm not telling anyone else not to, but my job is to go out every day and create spaces of encouragement for other human beings. I can't have the intake of all of that negativity and still be able to do what I was put on earth to do. So all of us got to make choices. Are we, we don't make any differences most of the time by listening, having that intake. And another thing that I think humans do that's not very good, Gary, is that we only listen to stuff that agrees with us. So we stay within our wheelhouse all the time. So we're not challenging ourselves or challenging our thinking to think outside of those realms, right? Now, we all have convictions. We all know that there's powerful things inside of us that we're not going to sway from. There's some things that I'm never going to change. Those are my beliefs, my core beliefs in life. but at the same time, I don't have a problem listening or talking to, having conversations with people that disagree with me either. I want to expand my opportunity for my old mind, not to get just wrapped up in one direction either.
Let me say this, Frank, before I want you in a few minutes to tell us about your Dream Again business and all the things, services you provide, but I think are invaluable. But from a business standpoint, where I'm sitting in the business chair as a professional realtor and as a business owner for numerous decades, I said before, I'm a big proponent of individuals each year, especially this time of the year, setting goals for this next year. Setting some goals that you'd be excited about accomplishing, make you feel really good and really reward you and reward your family.
Yes.
You got to have some goals. The old proverb again, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's a proverb. It's true. And if you don't have goals every year, if you're just starting off day by day, going through coffee in the morning, lunch at noon, and just your everyday activities, you won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you have some goals established and you write them down, and they're exciting goals that are specific and get you cranked up, and you have to put them in a place where you see them and remind you every day what your exciting goals are, and you put together a good plan.
Yes.
With help from a mentor if need be, of how to reach that goal, you can accomplish some fantastic things you never dreamed you could accomplish. Yes. I use the analogy a lot of times of a professional football team. Some are more successful than others, but I can promise you a successful football team, especially the pros, each week before they have a game, they have a book of their strategies, their plan that's inches thick. And what do they read? They study this book all week long. Their plan to reach their goal of score more points by the end of the fourth quarter. Well, it's always going to be a great plan. If it works perfectly, it's going to be for sure a win. But what do they do between every play? They huddle up every play and they think, what just happened? Was it good? Was it bad? We need to change this, change that, and so forth. But between every play, they adjust the situation to reach, heading toward reaching that goal in the fourth quarter. Another analogy I use a lot of times is, Frank, you want to go on a vacation. Where's your vacation dream destination, Frank?
Me?
Yeah. Give me a place.
Yeah, Africa.
Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank wants to go to Africa. We know that's a great noble goal. And I'm sure he has some real important reasons why.
Yeah.
But to get there, you first of all got to decide upon when you want to accomplish that goal. Put a date down.
Yep.
Then you got to go through, what have I got to do to get there by such and such date? Well, I've got to make some reservations, airline reservations for sure, or get on a ship or something. You got to make those calls, get that lined out to get you from point A to point B. If you just walk out of the house in the morning, say, I'm going to Africa, just take off walking, chances are you may not reach that goal.
Right.
And you're going to deal with obstacles too. You have your destination in place. You got your deadline in place. You got your how-to in place and so forth, your plan. Get that phone call, get that email notice. Flight's been canceled. Things have been changed. Got a hurricane coming in. Got a big blizzard coming in. Things change. We have to huddle up, regroup, and deal with your current situation to make changes to still keep you on the right track.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if I could add a whole lot to that, Gary. You just summed it up perfectly because, if it's not written down, I had a mentor. I worked directly for a CEO of a rather large company once in my life. And he says, if it's not measurable, then it's not doable. So you have to make sure that things are able to be measured along the way, the time frame that it takes to get there, and it has to be written down. I don't understand the pushback from people not writing stuff down, right? If they're afraid that they're not going to do it, you can always pivot, right? Things happen. Who knew COVID, in 2015,
Right.
COVID was not in anyone's 5-year plan, right?
For
So we
sure.
have to pivot and make changes to the plan, but at the same time, you have to write things down and you have to engage it, like Gary said, daily, and make sure that you're taking steps to getting to wherever it is that you want to go. And that's just business sense, right? And otherwise it's just a wish. You can wish for Africa or you can go to Africa. I'm
Exactly right.
going to Africa.
Let
So
me add to that, Frank, too. If you really want to reach that goal, and you want to increase your chances tenfold, then share your goals with someone and ask them to be your accountability partner. Ask them to check with you on a regular basis about how you come along with this goal of getting to Africa in such and such time. Kind of reminding you, it's like going to the doggone gym. If you don't have a coach at the gym or a gym person to go with every time, chance of you going to the gym on a regular basis is real low.
low.
Very low.
Very low.
Frank, that's enough of me talking today. I want to hear more about from you with what you're doing with your Dream Again business and how it can impact people in a very powerful and significant way.
Well, thanks, Gary. Yeah, Dream Again is a coaching enterprise. We do life and business coaching because people ask me, are you a business coach or a life coach, Frank? And I say yes, because if your life sucks, typically your business follows. So, and vice versa. So, both those things have to be aligned in really substantive and intentional ways. So, we help people with that, the goals that Gary was talking about, directing you to it, but even more deeply, we help people believe that they can attain the goals that they're looking for, that they are the right people for the spaces that they're in, that their design really lends itself to being a success in whatever endeavor that they want to be in. So that's the coaching philosophy of Dream Again Business Consulting. I also do keynote speaking, emceeing, and we do culture change management, help business cultures create what we call an inspire and trust culture. So you're inspiring your colleagues and one another forward to be the best that they can be. So collectively, you can create an enterprise that really just rocks. And we all want to rock because we live in one of the greatest business cultures in America, in Colorado Springs, just again named number 2 best city to live in America on so many different lists for environments that create just a real movement. If you really want to invest, work hard, do the things that like Gary were telling you to do in your planning stages and etc., you can really make a go in our region. And you know what? Business planning works in every region. It doesn't matter where you live or what you're doing or what your business is. If you are really all in to doing the things that you need to do, making the sacrifices you need to make to have a great business, you can do that. And we would at Dream Again Business Consulting, we help to encourage you towards that end.
I think, Frank, that the valuable services you provide can help someone not only in their business life, but in their personal life, in their marriage, in their physical life. If you're unhealthy right now, you're packing the extra 50 pounds because of the holidays or whatever, unhealthy lifestyle, there's ways to make those things change dramatically. If you have goals set, you have a plan put in place, and you have somebody to help you get right mentally, and someone to help you from an accountability standpoint. Well, let me say, Frank, this has been some great nuggets. I'm not going to take any more of your time today. If anyone who's watching today wants more information and have a conversation with Frank, how can they reach out and contact you, Frank, with your services?
Well, it's really easily. You can go to dreamagainllc.com. That's my website. My calendar is there. So just schedule a couple of coffee and we can sit across the table, do a discovery conversation to see if I'm a fit for you. and if you're a fit for me, and then we can see if we can move anything forward. Worst thing that can happen from a cup of coffee with me is that you end up walking out of the coffee shop encouraged.
There you go. And now keep in mind, guys and gals that are watching it today, it doesn't matter where you are. You can visit with Frank virtually as well as in person. He's a very available person and a great person to get to know and a great person to have as a friend. So, Frank, I really appreciate you being here today. I appreciate you as a friend and all the great things you do. I wish you and your family a wonderful holiday season and a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Keep doing it. Don't you guys ever forget that Gary is never too busy for your referrals.
You're the man. Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.